Hello, my dear friend. Welcome to VUS Learning English Podcast. My name is Anna, and I am so happy you are here with me today. If you are new here, welcome. We are a family of learners from all over the world. If you are returning, welcome back. It is wonderful to have you with us again. Today we have a very special topic. It is a topic about you. It is a topic about something inside you. We are going to talk about your blood. Yes, your blood. It is a beautiful and amazing topic. We will learn about the secret advantages of your blood type. We will learn the hidden powers inside you. This is not a difficult science lesson. No, not at all. This is a story. It is the story of you and your family and all of us. I will speak very slowly so you can relax, listen, and learn. Thank you so much for choosing to be here today. Your time is a gift, and I am so grateful you are sharing it with me. Before we begin our story, I have a small request. If you enjoy our time together, please give this episode a like, or you can follow our channel. When you do this, it helps our podcast grow. It helps us reach more English learners, just like you. Thank you, my friend. Now, I have a question for you. Where are you listening from today? Are you in a busy city or a quiet town? Are you in North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, or Australia? I love to imagine where you are. Please tell me in the comments. I would love to know. Okay, are you comfortable? Are you ready to learn something wonderful about yourself? Let's begin. What if I told you there's a secret power inside your body? This power can help you. It can protect you. And what if this same power also has a small weakness, a small challenge? This is not a story from a movie. This is a true story. It is the story of your blood. Have you ever seen a medical paper about you? Maybe you saw a letter on it. The letter A or the letter B or the letter O or maybe two letters, A and B. This letter is your blood type. It is not just a name. It is a very old gift. This gift comes from your family from long, long ago. It is a survival kit, a kit to help you live a long and healthy life. This kit has been passed down for millions of years. Millions of years. Can you imagine that? Your blood type is a secret map. It shows your greatest strengths, and it shows your small challenges too. Your blood type can be like a shield. It can protect you from a very old sickness, but it can also be a sign for other sicknesses. This is a story of balance, a give and a take, a strength here and a challenge there. Today, we will open this secret map together. We will learn the secrets of your blood. We will travel back in time, through all of human history. We will find the hidden reasons behind your blood type, the secret advantages etched into you. Every person listening right now has a blood type. Most people have one of four main types: type O, type A, type B, and type AB. For most of history, we did not know what these letters meant. It was a mystery. Then a long time ago, in the early 20th century, there was a smart scientist. His name was Karl Landsteiner. He was from Austria. He made a discovery that changed the world. It was a very important discovery. He found that if you mix blood from two different people, sometimes something dangerous happened. The blood cells would stick together, they would clump up. This could be very dangerous. Because of his work, we learned how to give blood safely. We learned about blood transfusions. His work saved many, many lives. He even won a very important prize for his work. a Nobel Prize. But his discovery was the start of a bigger story. A story that was older and more amazing than he knew. He found the clues to a long, slow competition. A competition between humans and sickness. A competition that has been happening for thousands of years. The story of your blood type is not about new types appearing. No, that is not the story. The genes for blood types A, B, and O are very, very old. They are ancient. These genes go back at least 20 million years. 20 million years. That is an amazing number. We share these genes with other animals like primates. So, all three blood types have been with humans from the very beginning. The real story is about change. It is about how common each blood type is. Sometimes type O is very common in a place. In another place, maybe type A is more common. Why? Because as people moved around the world, they faced new things. New weather, new foods, and new sicknesses. Different blood types gave people different advantages. They helped people survive in different places. Think about it like this. Nature does not try to be perfect. Nature just wants to be good enough to survive, good enough to continue. And surviving sometimes means making a trade-off. This means a special skill that helps you with one problem. Might create a small problem in another area. It is a balance. A beautiful, natural balance. Today we are going to look at this balance. We will explore why type O is the most common blood type. It gives people amazing protection from a sickness called malaria, but it might make them a little more open to other sicknesses. We will look at why type A became more common when people started farming, and how this is connected to a risk for heart problems or some cancers. But do not worry, knowing is power. Knowledge helps you make good choices. We will travel with type B. We will see how its story follows the paths of ancient people moving across the land. We will see its unique strengths and its connection to the body's defense system. And finally, we will look at type AB, the rarest blood type. It is a modern puzzle, a mix of strengths and questions. By the end of our time together, you will see your blood type in a new way. It will not be just a letter on a medical chart. No. It will be your personal story, your chapter in the big, beautiful book of human survival. Are you ready to read your story? Let's begin with the basics. Let's make it clear. Section 1. The Foundation. Antigens and Antibodies Explained. Before we start the big story of each blood type, we need a small, simple lesson. A lesson about the science of blood. It all comes down to two important things. Their names are antigens and antibodies. These words might sound a little complex, but the idea is very, very simple, I promise. Let's imagine something together. Picture your red blood cells. They are like tiny little boats floating in the rivers of your body. These rivers are your blood vessels. What do these little boats do? They carry something very important. They carry oxygen. They deliver oxygen to every part of your body. Your brain, your heart, your muscles, everything needs oxygen. Now, your body has a security system. This system is called your immune system. Its job is to protect you. It needs to know which little boats are friendly and which ones are strangers. So, each of your friendly boats needs an ID card, a special marker to show it belongs to you. These ID cards are the antigens. So, an antigen is like a name tag or a team jersey. It is a little marker on the outside of your blood cell. These antigens are made of sugar, And the kind of antigen you have is decided by your genes, the gifts from your parents. It is very simple. If you have type A blood, your blood cells wear an A name tag. They have A antigens. If you have type B blood, your blood cells wear a B name tag. They have B antigens. What if you have type AB blood? You guessed it. Your cells wear both name tags. They have both A antigens and B antigens. And what about type O blood? This one is special. If you have type O blood, your cells have no name tags. They do not have A or B antigens. They are plain, clean. This is why type O was first named from a German word, the word ohne. Ohne means without A or B antigens. So that is the first player, the antigen. It is the ID card, the name tag on your blood cell. Simple, right? Now let's talk about the second player, your body's security guards. These security guards are your antibodies. The job of an antibody is to check all the ID cards. They float in your blood. They patrol your body. And if they find something without the right ID card, they attack it. They protect you from strangers, from germs and things that don't belong. This is where it gets very interesting and very smart. Your body makes antibodies for the antigens you do not have. Let me say that again. Your body makes security guards that look for the name tags you are missing. Let's look at each type. If you have type A blood, your cells have the A name tag. Your body knows that A is friendly, but it sees B as a stranger. So your body makes anti-B antibodies. It makes security guards that look for and attack B. If you have type B blood, you have B name tags. Your body knows B is friendly. It sees A as a stranger. So you have anti-A antibodies, security guards that look for and attack A. What about type AB blood? Your cells have both A and B name tags. So your body sees both A and B as friendly. It does not need to attack them. So a person with type AB blood makes no anti-A or anti-B antibodies. This makes them very special. They are called the universal recipient. This means they can receive red blood cells from almost anyone because their body does not have security guards for A or B. And finally, type O. Remember, their cells have no A or B name tags. They are plain. So their security system sees both A and B as strangers, as invaders. So a person with type O blood has both anti-A and anti-B antibodies. They have security guards against both A and B. Isn't that a beautiful and smart system? It is your body's own protection plan. This is why blood types must be matched for transfusions. When someone needs blood, if a person with type A blood receives type B blood, their anti-B antibodies will attack the new blood cells. The new cells will clump together. This is called agglutination. This clumping is very dangerous. It can block the blood vessels, the rivers in your body. This can cause big, big problems. So our blood type system is a brilliant way to keep us safe. It is our internal security system. But here's the twist in our story. Some germs like bacteria and viruses have learned to use this system. They have learned to use our own ID cards against us. They can use our antigens as a door, a way to get inside our bodies. This is where the big, slow game of survival begins. The game between us and sickness. This is where our story truly starts. You're doing wonderfully. This was the science part. Now we can begin the story of each blood type. Let's start with the most common one, the ancient survivor. Let's talk about type O. Section 2. Blood type O, the ancient survivor. To understand blood type O, we need to use our imagination. Let's travel back in time, far, far back. Let's picture the world of our ancient ancestors, the first humans. For most of human history, people were hunter-gatherers. This means they hunted animals for food, and they gathered plants, fruits, and berries. They lived in small groups. They moved from place to place. Their lives were about survival. In this ancient world, all the blood types existed. A, B, and O were all in our family tree. But in some places, one blood type had a big advantage, a special power that helped people survive. In many parts of the world, especially places with a certain dangerous sickness, type O was the master survivor. This is why today type O is still the most common blood type in the world. It is a living sign of its success, a success story that is still with us. What is the special power of type O? Remember, the special thing about type O is what it does not have. It does not have A or B antigens. Its red blood cells are clean, plain, like a blank page. This simple, clean design is its greatest medical superpower. Because it has no A or B name tags, it does not cause an immune reaction in other people. This is why type O, negative blood is called the universal donor. Universal means for everyone. Donor means a giver. So it is the blood that can be given to almost anyone. Imagine an emergency. Someone is hurt and needs blood quickly. There is no time to check their blood type. What do doctors use? They use O negative blood. It is a lifeline. It saves lives every single day in our modern world. But this is not just a modern advantage. It is also an ancient shield, a protection against one of history's biggest enemies, malaria. For thousands and thousands of years, the sickness of malaria has been a big problem for humans. It is caused by a tiny parasite, a tiny creature that gets inside our blood. This parasite is carried by mosquitoes. The parasite has a scary and effective way to attack us. When it gets inside the body, it makes our own red blood cells become sticky. In people with blood types A, B, or AB, the parasite uses a special protein. This protein is like glue. It makes infected blood cells stick to healthy blood cells. They form clumps, big groups of stuck-together cells. These clumps are dangerous. They can block the small blood vessels, the tiny rivers in the brain and other organs. This leads to severe malaria, thus most dangerous form of the sickness. It can cause a coma or even death. But people with type O blood have a secret weapon, a hidden advantage. The sticky glue from the parasite. It sticks very well to the A antigen, but it does not stick well to the clean surface of a type O cell. The parasite's glue has a very weak grip. It cannot hold on. Because of this, those dangerous clumps of cells do not form easily. They are much smaller and less sticky. This means that a person with type O blood can still get malaria, but they are much less likely to get the most dangerous, severe form. They are protected from the worst effects. This was a huge advantage for survival, a huge help in places where malaria was common, places like sub-Saharan Africa. This helps us understand why type O is so common there. It is a perfect example of natural selection. Nature selected or chose the blood type that helped people survive. Isn't that amazing? Your blood holds a story of survival. But the story of blood is always a story of balance, a trade-off. The same thing that gives a great strength can also create a small weakness. The clean surface of a type O cell. The surface without A or B antigens is a fortress against malaria, but it can be an open door for other germs. It has a basic molecule on its surface. It is called the H antigen. And this open molecule is a perfect place for other germs to connect, to dock like a ship at a port. One of these germs is the bacteria that causes cholera. Cholera is a sickness that causes very bad diarrhea. The cholera germ sticks very, very well to the cells in the intestines of type O people. This can make them more likely to get a severe infection. Another germ is the norovirus. You might know it as the stomach flu. It is very unpleasant. This virus also uses those open spots as a door. Studies show that people with type O blood may be more likely to get norovirus and to feel its symptoms more strongly. So there is a trade: protection from one thing, but openness to another. The challenges don't stop there. There is another bacteria. Its name is Helicobacter pylori. That is a long name. Let's call it H. pylori. This bacteria can live in the stomach. It is a main cause of ulcers. Ulcers are painful sores in the stomach. Research shows that this bacteria, H. pylori, can stick more easily to the stomach lining of people with type O blood. People with type O blood also seem to have a stronger reaction to it. Their body fights it very hard. This strong fight can cause more damage to the stomach. So again, we see the trade-off. There is another interesting trade-off. It is about blood clotting. Clotting is when your blood becomes thick to stop bleeding. When you get a cut, a clot helps you heal. People with blood types A, B, or AB usually have higher levels of the proteins that make blood clot. This means that people with type O blood generally have a lower risk of getting dangerous blood clots. This is a big advantage for your heart and blood vessels. It lowers the risk of heart attacks or strokes caused by clots. But what is the other side of the coin? The flip side? If there is a lower risk of clotting, there can be a higher risk of bleeding. After a serious injury, the blood of a type O person might be a little slower to clot. This could be a challenge. A lower risk of clots is good. A higher risk of bleeding is not so good. It is a perfect balance, a perfect trade-off. Finally, there's a popular idea about blood type and diet. Maybe you have heard of the eat right for your type diet. This idea says that type O people are best suited for a diet with a lot of protein, like meat. An ancient hunter-gatherer diet. This idea is interesting, but there is not a lot of strong scientific proof for it. It is a controversial idea. What science is studying now is our gut microbiome. These are the tiny, friendly bacteria that live in our intestines. They are very important for our health. Some new research shows that our blood type antigens might influence which tiny bacteria live in our gut. This is a very new and exciting area of science. We are still learning. So the story of type O is a story of two sides. A double-edged sword. It is the blood of the survivor, the helper for everyone, the universal donor, a strong defense against a terrible sickness, malaria. But it is also a target for some stomach germs. It is the perfect picture of an evolutionary trade-off, a story of strength and challenge working together. If you have type O blood, you carry this ancient story inside you, the story of the survivor. You are amazing. Now let's look at the next chapter in our human story. Let's see what happened when people began to farm. Section 3. Blood type A, the agrarian strategist. As the story of humanity continued, a very big change happened. Some of our ancestors stopped moving all the time. They began to stay in one place. They learned to grow their own food. They planted seeds and grew crops like wheat and rice. They also learned to keep animals, like cows and sheep and goats. This was the beginning of the agricultural revolution, the start of farming. This big change reshaped everything. It changed our societies, it changed our homes, and it changed our bodies. In this new world, a world of villages and cities, a world of bread and grains, the blood type A gene found its special moment. The A gene has always been with us for millions of years, but now it became more common. The rise of type A blood shows a new adaptation, a new way to survive. If type O was the blood of the hunter, then type A was the blood of the farmer. As people started living together in larger groups, in crowded villages and towns, they faced new problems, new challenges. Sicknesses could now spread very easily, from one person to another, or through the water or food supply. Living close to animals also brought new kinds of diseases. In this new farming world, the A antigen, the A name tag on blood cells, seems to have offered a new kind of protection. It may have helped people fight the new sicknesses of these crowded communities. When the types of sicknesses changed, the best defense system for the body also changed. So type A became a new kind of strategist, a new planner for survival. But you remember our theme, right? There is always a balance, always a trade-off. This new adaptation came with a price, a set of new challenges. Challenges that people with type A blood can face today. The most studied challenge is a higher risk for heart disease. Many large studies have shown this. Research from a famous university, the Harvard School of Public Health, found that people with type A blood had a higher risk of developing heart problems, higher than people with type O blood. So, what is the connection? Why would this happen? It seems to be connected to two things: blood clotting and cholesterol. Remember how we said that non-O blood types have more clotting proteins? This includes type A. This means that people with type A blood are a little more likely to form blood clots. These clots can be dangerous. They can cause heart attacks and strokes. Also, some research shows that people with type A blood often have higher levels of LDL cholesterol. LDL cholesterol is sometimes called bad cholesterol. It is a main cause of heart disease. Think about it from an ancient perspective. For an early farmer, maybe they got hurt by a tool. Having blood that clots faster could save their life. But in our modern world, where many people live for a long time and eat different foods, that same fast clotting ability can cause problem for our hearts. A strength in the past can become a challenge in the present. It is a trade-off through time. And the trade-offs continue. A lot of new evidence shows a link between type A blood and a higher risk of some cancers, especially stomach cancer and pancreatic cancer. Why? Scientists have a few ideas. One idea is about the A antigen itself, the A name tag. When this antigen is on the cells in our stomach and intestines, it might change those cells a little. It might make them more likely to become cancerous. Another idea is about inflammation. Inflammation is your body's response to injury or infection. It is like a fire alarm. The A antigen might affect how your body responds to things. It might make the inflammatory response different. And if you have inflammation for a long time, this is a known risk for many cancers. Now, I want to say something very important. Please listen closely. Hearing this information should not make you scared. No, knowledge is not for fear. Knowledge is for power. Knowing you have type A blood does not mean you will get heart disease. It does not mean you will get cancer. Not at all. It just means you have a good reason to take great care of your wonderful body. It is a motivation to live a heart-healthy life, to eat good food, to exercise, to make healthy choices. Knowing your body helps you help your body. It is a positive thing. Now, what about the diet theory? The eat right for your type idea says type A people are cultivators, farmers. It says they are better with a vegetarian diet, a diet full of plants. Again, this specific diet is a popular idea, but it is debated. The science is not completely clear. But there is interesting new science. It is about the link between our blood type and our gut microbes, our tiny gut friends. Some research suggests that certain gut bacteria like to eat blood group antigens, the A and B name tags. Our body releases some of these antigens into our gut. So the A antigen could be like a fertilizer, food for certain kinds of good bacteria. This could mean that the gut environment, the little world inside the intestines, is unique for a person with type A blood. This is so fascinating, and scientists are learning more every day. The story of type A is a story of adaptation. It is about changing to fit a new way of life. The A gene became more common in farming people. It was like a biological software update, a new program to help people do well in settled towns. But it came with a hidden cost, a predisposition to some of the sicknesses of our modern world, heart disease and cancer. It is the story of the farmer, the strategist, the planner. If you have type A blood, you carry this story of change and civilization inside you. You are a part of this incredible human journey. We are doing so well. You are learning so much. Our journey is now going to take us east. We will travel to the Great Plains of Eurasia, to the steppes. There we will discover the story of blood type B, the story of the nomad, the wanderer. But before we continue our journey, if you are finding this story of your blood interesting and helpful, please take a moment to support our channels. You can press the like button, or you can subscribe to our podcast and turn on notifications so you never miss a new story. Your support helps us continue to make these episodes for you. It helps us share these stories with learners all over the world. Thank you. Okay, let's get back to our journey. Let's go meet the wandering nomad. Section 4. Blood type B, the wandering nomad. Our next story takes us to a new place. Let's leave the farms and villages behind. Let's travel to the vast open lands of Central Asia. Imagine wide, grassy plains under a big blue sky. This is the land of the steppes. In this land, a different blood type became more common. Blood type B. If type O is the hunter and type A is the farmer, then type B is the nomad, the wanderer. The story of type B is a story of movement, of adaptation, of a special relationship with a changing world. The B gene, just like A and O, is very old, but where we find it tells a story. Type B is not very common in Western Europe, but as you travel east, you find it more and more. It is very common in Central Asia and in northern India. This map of blood type B follows the map of ancient migrations, the great movements of nomadic people. Who were these people? They were herders. They moved with their animals like cattle and horses. They traveled across huge lands. Their lifestyle was very different. They were always moving. They had to adapt to very hot summers and very cold winters. And their diet was different too. It had a lot of meat and dairy products like milk and cheese from their animals. This unique lifestyle likely created the need for the bee gene to become more common. It gave people an advantage in that environment. So what was the advantage? What was the superpower of type B? It seems the B antigen, the B name tag, gave people a special advantage with their immune systems. One interesting idea is about molecular mimicry. That sounds complex, but the idea is simple. Mimicry means to copy something, to look like something else. The B antigen on blood cells might look very similar to some bacteria. It might copy the shape of certain germs that were common in those lands. How could this help? Well, it could have helped in two ways. First, it might have made the immune system more friendly to good gut bacteria. Bacteria that helped people digest their diverse nomadic diet. Second, it might have prepared the immune system to fight bad bacteria, germs that had a similar shape. The immune system was already prepared for that shape. It was ready to fight. It is a very clever and specialized defense system. But we know the rule, don't we? There is always a trade-off. This very special and adaptable immune system can sometimes have a weakness. The same feature that makes the type B immune system so good at adapting might also make it more likely to make a mistake, to get confused, and to turn on itself. This is what we call an autoimmune disease. Auto means self. So it is when the immune system attacks the self, the body. A lot of new research suggests a link between blood type B and a higher risk for some of these autoimmune diseases. For example, some studies found that people with blood type B positive might have a higher risk of getting conditions like lupus or multiple sclerosis, which is called MS. The science is still new. We are still learning. But the idea is that the B antigen might sometimes confuse the immune system. It might make it mistake the body's own cells for a stranger, for an invader. Again, please remember, this is not a certainty. It is not a destiny. It is just a small statistical risk. It is information to help you live well. There is another fascinating trade-off for type B. It is about the flu, influenza. Some research suggests that people with type B blood might be more open to certain types of the flu virus, the types that cause big worldwide sicknesses called pandemics. Some scientists found that type B people can be a little slow to make antibodies for some flu viruses. This might mean the virus can stay in their body for longer. This could give the virus a safe place to live and a safe place to change and mutate. But here is the other side of the trade-off: the balance. People with type B blood often have a very strong and very fast immune response to a different type of flu, influenza B viruses. It is like their immune system is a specialist. It is an expert at fighting one kind of flu, but this specialization might make it a little more open to another kind. It is a very specific and interesting balance of power. Now let's talk about the diet theory for type B. Type B is often called the omnivore. An omnivore is an animal that eats everything, both plants and meat. The theory says type B people have a strong digestive system. The theory also says that type B people are special because it can digest dairy products like milk very well. This story fits very well with the nomadic herding lifestyle, right? But it is important to be clear about the science. The ability to digest lactose, the sugar in milk, is controlled by a different gene. It is not the same as the ABO blood group gene. So it is a case of two different genetic skills appearing in the same people because they both helped with the same lifestyle. The story of blood type BA is a story of amazing adaptation. It is about living a life of movement and change. It is like a biological passport, a passport that helped our ancestors explore new lands. But this flexibility came with a price, a potential weakness to some flu viruses, and a sensitive immune system that needs to stay in balance. If you have type B blood, you have the spirit of the wanderer in you, the spirit of adaptation and resilience. It is a beautiful legacy. Section 5. Blood type AB, the modern enigma. We have now arrived at the last and most interesting chapter of our blood type story, the story of blood type AB. If O is the survivor, A is the farmer, and B is the nomad, then AB is the modern enigma. An enigma is a puzzle, a mystery. Blood type AB is the rarest of the main blood groups. It is very uncommon. Its story is different from the others. It is not about a long, slow adaptation to one environment. The story of AB is a story of mixing, of coming together. Type AB happens when a person gets an A gene from one parent and a B gene from the other parent. It is a simple genetic combination, but it is a beautiful one. Why is it so rare? It is a game of numbers, of probability. In most places in the world, the O gene is the most common. The A and B genes are less common. So the chance of an A gene and a B gene meeting in one person is low. It is naturally rare. In the whole world, less than 5% of people have type AB blood. 5 out of every 100 people. The story of type AB is like the story of our modern world. It is a story of globalization. It is the story of people from different places meeting, of people with the A gene having children with people with the B gene. It is a symbol of connection. The immune system of a type AB person is, as you can guess, complex. It is a mix. On one hand, it seems to have the best of both worlds. Remember, the red blood cells of a type AB person have both A and B antigens, both name tags. This means the body of a type AB person sees both A and B as self, as friendly. So they do not make anti-A or anti-B antibodies. They have no security guards for A or B. This makes them the universal recipient for red blood cells. In an emergency, they could receive blood from a type A, type B, type AB, or type O person. This is a wonderful advantage. This lack of antibodies might make you think their immune system is weaker, more tolerant. And in some ways, that might be true. But having both A and B antigens also gives them a double defense. If a germ has learned to attack the A antigen, the AB person might still have some protection from their B antigen. They are like chameleons. A chameleon is an animal that can change its color. It is hard to define. Type AB people do not fit into the simple boxes that germs like to use. For example, we learned that type O people are very open to the cholera germ. But type AB people seem to be the most protected of all against cholera. A wonderful advantage. However, as always, this unique mix comes with its own challenges, significant downsides. like type A and type B. Type AB is a non-O blood type. This means it is connected to a higher risk for heart and blood vessel problems. In fact, the information for type AB is often the strongest. The big study from the Harvard School of Public Health found that people with type AB blood had a 23% increased risk of heart disease. 23%. This was compared to people with type O blood. It was the highest risk group of all four. Why? It is likely for the same reasons as type A and type B. Higher levels of clotting proteins and cholesterol levels that are not as good. Perhaps having both the A and B antigens makes these effects even stronger. The cancer risk is also a serious thing to know. One study found that people with type AB blood had a 51% higher risk of getting pancreatic cancer compared to type O. Again, please hear this with a calm and powerful mind. This is not your destiny. This is your information. This is your power to make good choices for your health, to be careful and proactive. Blood type AB is the ultimate trade-off. It is the child of a connected world, a biological symbol of unity, a mix of different family lines. People with type AB are universal recipients. Their immune system is flexible. But this modern combination comes with a heavy weight, the highest statistical risk for heart disease, and a notable risk for certain cancers. The puzzle of type AB is a powerful lesson. It reminds us that in nature and in life, there are no perfect answers. There are only compromises. There is only balance. If you have type AB blood, you are rare and special. You are a symbol of human connection, and you have a unique and important story to live. Section 6. The plus or minus. The Rh factor. Mystery. So far, we have talked about the four letters, A, B, O, and AB. But there is one more important piece to the puzzle. You might have heard it, the plus sign or the minus sign, like O positive or A negative. This plus or minus is called the rhesus factor, or the Rh factor. What is it? It is just another antigen, another name tag on the surface of your red blood cells. If you have this Rh antigen, your blood is Rh positive. You have the plus. If you do not have this Rh antigen, your blood is Rh negative. You have the minus. Most people in the world are Rh positive, about 85% of the world's population. This leaves a smaller group, about 15%, who are Rh negative. And this group is a little bit of a mystery. Where does the name rhesus come from? It comes from rhesus macaque monkeys. This is the type of monkey where the factor was first discovered. The most important effect of the Rh factor is during pregnancy. It can create a dangerous situation. Imagine an Rh negative mother. She does not have the Rh antigen. Now imagine she is pregnant with an Rh positive baby. The baby has the Rh antigen from the father. During the birth of the baby, a small amount of the baby's Rh positive blood can mix with the mother's blood. The mother's immune system sees this Rh antigen for the first time. It sees it as a stranger, an invader. So her body creates strong antibodies to fight it. Security guards against the Rh factor. This usually does not cause a problem for the first baby. The baby is already born. But the problem can come in the next pregnancy, if the mother has another Rh positive baby. Now, those strong antibodies she made are in her body. They can cross the placenta. The placenta connects the mother and the baby. The antibodies can attack the new baby's red blood cells. This can cause a very serious condition. It can lead to anemia, brain damage, or even be fatal for the baby. For a long time, this was a deep evolutionary puzzle. A big question. Why would a gene continue to exist if it puts a mother's own children at risk? It did not seem to make sense. Today, we have a simple solution. There's a shot, an injection that an Rh-negative mother can get. It stops her body from making those dangerous antibodies. It is a wonderful medical invention that has saved countless babies. But for most of human history, there was no shot. There was no modern medicine. The fact that the Rh-negative gene survived for so long strongly tells us something. It suggests that it must have offered a big survival advantage, a big benefit. What was that advantage? What was the secret power of being Rh-negative? That is still a question scientists are debating. They are still working to solve this puzzle. One popular idea is that being Rh-negative protects against certain germs, parasites or viruses. Just like the A and B antigens can be a door for germs, maybe the Rh protein is also a door, a target for some sicknesses. So if you do not have the Rh protein, if you are Rh negative, you might be resistant to some old infections from our past. Your door is closed to that specific germ. The geography of the gene is also strange. It is most common in people from Europe. The Basque people of Spain and France have one of the highest rates of Rh-negative blood in the world. But the gene is much rarer in people from Africa and Asia. This has led to some wild and strange ideas. But the scientific explanation is probably simpler. It is likely because of something called genetic drift. This is when a rare gene becomes more common in a small group of people, a group that is isolated or separate from others. It happens by chance. The mystery of the Rh factor is a perfect example. It shows how complex our genetic story is. It has a clear challenge, a clear disadvantage for pregnancy, but it has survived for tens of thousands of years. This means that for our ancestors, the hidden benefits must have been greater than the known risks. It is like a ghost of a trade-off from the past, a puzzle we are still putting together piece by piece. And it adds one more layer to the amazing personal story written in your blood. We have been on a long and beautiful journey today. We have traveled from the beginning of humanity to our modern world. We traced the amazing story written in our blood. We saw how the long fight with sicknesses like malaria helped make type O the great survivor. We learned how the change to farming favored type A, the strategist. But at the cost of a higher risk for modern diseases like heart problems. We traveled with type B, the nomad. We saw how its history of movement is written in its unique immune system. And we looked at the modern puzzle of type AB, the universal recipient, the symbol of connection, whose advantages come with the highest risk for some health issues. Your blood type is so much more than a letter, so much more than a medical fact. It is a biological signature, your own special mark. It is an echo from your ancestors, an echo of the challenges they faced, and the clever solutions their bodies created to survive. It is a living record of the trade-offs nature made for you, giving you a strength in one area, while creating a challenge in another. It is a story of beautiful, perfect balance. The science is always changing. Scientists are learning new things every day. But one thing is clear. Understanding this ancient map is a powerful tool. It is a gift. And this is not about genetic destiny. Destiny is the idea that your future is already written. That is not what this is. Knowing you have type A blood does not mean you are fated to have heart problems. No. It means you have one more good reason to live a heart-healthy life, to fill your life with joy and movement and good food. Knowing you have type O blood does not mean you are fated to get an ulcer. No, it means you can be mindful of your stomach's health and take good care of it. This knowledge gives us power. It empowers us. It helps us understand our own personal health, and it helps us appreciate the deep, amazing story we all carry inside us. Your blood tells a story of sickness and strength, of adaptation and survival, of power and of weakness. It is the story of you, and it is the story of all of us. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope you learned something wonderful and new about yourself. I hope you feel a sense of wonder about the amazing body you live in. Remember, learning a new language is a journey just like this one. It takes time. There are strengths and challenges. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. You are doing a wonderful job. Every word you learn, every minute you listen, is a victory. Keep going. You are capable of amazing things. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. If you enjoyed our time together, please consider leaving a comment. What is your blood type? Did you learn anything that surprised you today? I would love to read your thoughts. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow the podcast. It helps our community grow. Until we meet again, take good care of your amazing self. See you next time, my friend.